Well, hello and welcome to our reading of the Acts of the Apostles. We're in chapter 9, just reading straight through up to verse 10. Ein de tis methetes en Damasco onomati Hananias. So ein at the beginning of the sentence there is there was, we translate it, there was a certain disciple in Damascus by name Hanania. For some reason, I don't know why, the translations seem to not put the hard breathing in here, but the name is Hananiah in Hebrew, and it's there in the Greek. And he said, the Lord said to him in Horamati. Now, this is a dative from Horama, which is a word that's generally used of a spectacle or a vision, generally as some sort of supernatural vision in later Greek. In classical Greek it has more of the meaning of a spectacle, something wonderful to see, but in later Greek it's often got some religious idea of a vision. And so the Lord said, Hananiah. Notice the vocative here, and then his name is Hananias in Greek, and the vocative of this is Hananiah. Hode, and he said, Idu ego kurie, behold I, O Lord. So behold, here I am, Lord. And the Lord, understand, said to him, there's no verb for saying here, but we have to supply that. The Lord said to him, Anastas, participle from anhistemi, getting up, paruthati, this is the passive imperative because paruamai goes into the passive in the aorist, so this is an aorist imperative, but it's active in meaning. So from paruamai, go to the rumain. This is a late word. It's used in contradistinction to platia, which is more of a broad road. So this is kind of a lane. It's a small side street. It's used in the Septuagint in the book of Tobit as well. So to the lane which is called Euthea Strait. Kaitse teson, this is the aorist active imperative from Satio, and seek in the house, this is a genitive here, of Judah. This is a sort of perhaps a Doric genitive here, Judah, or perhaps it's just not declined. Seek in the house of Judah, Saul, seek a Tarsian, a man from Tarsus, Saul onomati by name. For, behold, prosuketai, he is praying. Kai Aden Andra, and he saw a man, this is Paul, saw a man, and then in square brackets we have in horomati, the same word we had before, in a vision, a man Hananiah by name, having entered in, and epithenta from epitithemi, having placed the hands on him, hopos, again for hina, that he might regain his sight, from anablepo, to regain his sight. And Hananiah replied, Curia, O Lord, Akusa, I have heard from many people regarding this man, as many evil things he has done to your saints in Jerusalem. So we really like a kai there, but so it's in respect of, I think, for this hosakaka grammatically. So I've heard from many people regarding this man, in respect of as many evil things he has done to your saints, to your holy ones in Jerusalem. Kai hode eke exousian para ton Kyrion, and thus he has authority from the chief priests, Desai, infinitive from deo, to bind, to bind pantes tus epikalumenus, all the ones calling upon to onomasu your name. And the Lord said to him, Poru. So this is the imperative from poruomai. So it's the present middle imperative. So go, hoti, because estin he is, literally a skuos ekloges, a vessel of election. Literally, this is a Hebraism. Really, it's an elect. We probably translate it as an elect vessel. Hebrew doesn't have a huge number of. It's got some, but doesn't have a huge number of adjectives, and so it often uses the construct state in Hebrew, which is just corresponds to a genitive here in Greek. So anyway, we translate this as because he is an elect vessel, literally a vessel of election. Moi to me, he, sorry, it's he is to me an elect vessel. So this man is perhaps my elect vessel, to bastasi, it's to plus infinitive for purpose, so as bastasdos to carry my name, enopion, before the ethnon, the Gentiles, and the kings and the sons of Israel. Well, this must have come as a bit of a surprise to Hananiah to hear that he was going to, even at this early stage, go to the Gentiles, because Paul, of course, doesn't do that initially. It's not only after some years that he goes to the Gentiles. So perhaps Luke is reading back into the story here, but this is what he's written. Ego ga hupadexo, from hupadeknumi, I will reveal to him as many things as it is necessary for him. Pathane is the aorist infinitive from pasco, to suffer on behalf of my name. Hananiah went back, so departed perhaps, and entered into the house, and epithes, this is the aorist participle from epitithemi, having placed his hands upon him, he said, Saul, Adelphe, my brother, the Hokurios, the Lord Apostel Kenme, has sent me. Jesus, the one ophthes, is aorist passive participle, having been seen by you. And ophthes, it literally is having been seen, but sometimes you can translate it as the one who appeared. The one who appeared to you on the way, on which Eriku is the imperfect second person singular from Erkamai, to go, on the road on which you were going. He sent, so Jesus has sent me so that, so after this apostel kenme, so that you might regain your sight, kai pleistes, and this is from, but possibly have this one before, this is from Pim Plamy. From Pim Plamy, one of the me verbs, and there's the stem in here. We get a nasal infix and we get the present reduplication, so that's the stem there. And this is the aorist passive subjunctive, second person singular, from this verb. To be, this means to fill, and passive to be filled. So that you might be filled, and it takes a partitive genitive, with Holy Spirit. No articles. And immediately, apepesan, this is from apopipto, and it so there's no subject to this. It's they fell from him, from his eyes. We're not told what they are, but they are hos lepides, well, like scales. This is interesting word. This occurs in the book of Tobit, when Tobit, of course, was blinded by the defecation of birds. He has these scales on his eyes and he can't see, and there's probably some kind of cataract perhaps there. It is used in Galen and other medical writers, but normally for scales on the skin, not the eyes. But anyway, like scales. And Eblaps then, he regained his sight, Tekai, so he both regained his sight, and Anastas and Histemi standing up, or getting up, ebaptiste, aorist passive, he was baptized, and having taken trophane, food, or perhaps nourishment, en iskusen, from en iskuo. Iskuo is connected with iskus, strong, so he regained his strength. So having taken some food, he regained his strength, because he hadn't been eating or drinking for several days as after his experience on the road to Damascus.